Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Adam RPG with me, Bring It On. I'm going to keep talking to the people of Krasno, starting with this guy. A grey-bearded militiaman greets you with a serious and wary look. After clearing his throat, he looks you straight in the eyes and asks, "How can I help you, comrade? How are you doing here at the harbor? The locals getting on your nerves?" The militiaman has another brief coughing fit before answering you with a smirk. Hee hee. Keep in mind there's a brothel right on that large boat. It's next to impossible to be bored here. Sometimes I'm rescuing payment-dodging clients from the girl's wrath. Sometimes I'm shuttling drunks to the bushes so they can have a rest. Life is good. What else can I tell you? Has anything interesting happened around here? The man frowns. My post is next to the local casino and brothel, so the happenings around here are usually funny. But a couple years ago, a short distance away along the shore, fate brought me... it was gruesome. The body of a dead girl, around 20 years old. She's dressed modestly, and it is clear she wasn't a prostitute. She had just been walking past the brothel when someone grabbed her, cut her throat from ear to ear. A grisly kind of smile. We couldn't crack the case no matter how hard we tried. The poor girl didn't have any ID, and no one could identify her. When I was filling in the paperwork, I had to give her a nickname. I called her Black Hortensia, because of her beauty and the color of her dress. Who was a scumbag who destroyed such a beauty? So, that's a reference to the Black Dahlia murder. Let's see, I'm into local gossip. Care to share? In the old days, there was a gang here called the Alphabet. For security reasons, gang members had nicknames consisting of one letter. I was assigned to investigate their attacks on the local caravans. The clues led me to an abandoned kolkhoz, where they were making their base. Suddenly I see A and B, the two biggest Alphabet bosses, sitting on the ruins of an old chimney. They were smoking, drinking, and laughing, as if they'd completely forgotten how they slaughtered 10 caravanners just the day before. Right away I called for backup and started shooting. The bastards didn't even have time to get off the chimney. A caught one of my bullets with his forehead and fell, but B disappeared, vanished into thin air. He dropped out of sight for many years after that, but now I keep hearing murmurs of B's return. They say he's looking to get the old gang back together. I don't even know myself. I'm just taking a walk. Guess I'll keep moving. Bye. Whoops. Did I talk to that woman who is just right here? Come here. A slim blonde girl of around 25 looks at you with a friendly look, as she gives you a quick and sharp once-over. You're a settler too? You must have tons of questions. My name is Lara. Tell me how I can help you out. I'm on a business trip here. Where are you from? The girl sighs and lowers her gaze. I'm from the north, but destiny has chased me out from my original home. So how did you get to Krasno? Were you walking alone? Hard to believe. The girl sighs. I wasn't alone. There was my uncle Mitya with me. He was a great shot and a ranger before the war. He decided to go to Krasno because the local gang, the so-called, I don't know if it's supposed to be warmongers or just warmongers, became too wild to deal with. My poor uncle. Oh, he was gunned down by robbers just a few days away from the city. He never saw that life can be good. Continue, please. That's my story, actually. I buried Mitya, I got to the city, sold Uncle's rifle, got some money to pay rent with, and now I work for a living. I wonder if I was supposed to ask about the gang. I don't know if this is a quest or not. I don't remember this NPC. What a story. Well, good luck in your new home. Come here. A slim, pretty blonde girl gives you a shy smile and an empty stare. Oh, hi. Did you want something? You told me you started living here not that long ago. Why? I already told you. I'm from the north. After the local gang became too wild to live near, me and my uncle, we started walking this way. The uncle died, I survived. Now I'm working here for a living. That always reminds me of that rhyme, was it Inky Binky Bonky, Daddy had a donkey, donkey died, Daddy cried? Something like that. Ah, right. I nearly forgot. Let me ask you something else. Ask what you like. I'll be glad to help you out. What can you say about Krasno? If I knew that peaceful places like this one were still on the map, I'd run away to Krasno back when I was a little girl. Some locals curse the militia and the government, but I like it all. There's no shooting here, no public executions, no cannibalism. A modern-day Eden. That sounds way too positive. Another question. I don't live here for long. Okay. What do you do for a living? Where I'm from, new stuff is a rarity, so everyone learns how to fix clothes and footwear. In Krasno, on the other hand, getting clothes isn't a huge problem. That's why people don't know how to repair stuff as well as I do. So I sell my skills and fix up their coats, boots, and jackets for a price. It's cheaper than buying a new item. Working with your hands. I can respect that. Another question. Was it hard to find a home in the center? Nope, not really. I talked it over in the Chamber of Commerce building, got all the documents I needed, paid some money in advance, and got a room in a house nearby. A room isn't a whole lot, but it's better than a stinky tent in the woods. Much better. You did great for yourself, it seems. Another question. I'll tell you what I know. I collect rumors. Want to share some? Sure. They say one militiaman chased an old witch out of the city, so she cursed him and he became bald. If you ask me, there was no witchcraft involved. The poor old bat probably had some infectious disease the militiaman got, as he manhandled her out of the gate. Rationality is a good trait for a lady. Another question, and that should be it. Tell me where you lived before. Alright, let's just gonna repeat that. I feel like I missed a quest there. I'm not going to fret about it too much, though. Let's go talk to this captain. If his looks are anything to go by, you're about to meet a proper sea dog, large as life. The man puffs at his wooden pipe thoughtfully and strokes his large gray beard. As he notices you, he puts his arms akimbo and nods. Arg, fancy a little cruise? I might. Depends on the destination. The captain casts a loving look at a small boat anchored nearby and answers in a very serious voice. A cruise from Krasno to the Dead City. It is full of dangers, yet many adventurers find it appealing. Sounds interesting. What's your price? Okay, let's do some calculations here. The price of the fuel to leave the bay, food, hammocks, the train tax. This makes 7 grand in total. Have you no shame, Sea Dog? Drop the price for the fellow seaman. No way. Sailing on board the ship is not cheap. At these rates, your competitors will quickly drive you out of business. Nasty prospect it is, but you see, I have no competition here. No sensible person will ever sail to the Dead City. So these tours are your only source of income. Doesn't sound like a lucrative job. No wonder. I usually deliver cargoes, or fish from time to time. I catch anchovies in my nets. But these are all side activities. So 7 grand, cash on the nail. Make up your mind now. This is a heck of a lot of money. Let's change the subject. As you wish. So you wanted to get to the Dead City, right? And how often do you have such rounds? Not too often. Those places are curious but unfriendly. There's no denying it. Sometimes I'm low on the funds, and sometimes I transport huge parties, not huge parties. Can't read. Sometimes I transport huge parties of stalkers there. It's all sheer luck. I'd rather ask you some questions. Suit yourself, tourist. Which part of the wasteland is better for living? The answer is purely subjective. Tastes differ. I like being at the sea more. There it looks as if there had never been any apocalypse at all. I see. One more question. Fire away. What can I do with you? How long have you been prowling the sea? Since time immemorial. Why immemorial? Because I don't remember how long, really. It seems like I've spent my entire life on the deck. Oh my. Let me ask you something else. What can you say about Krasno? It's a quiet bay. No pirates or storms. I can't be here too long. I get bored. You're that kind of person, eh? I have another question. Spit it out. I care to share some local gossip. Local rumors are of little interest to me, but sea tales are a different matter. I'm afraid you'll be bored to death with them. Well, you're wrong. Can I ask another question? Alright, so we'll come back here, and we have higher speechcraft and more money. We do have to go to the Dead Sea for the main quest, I believe, so we do have to deal with him later. Let's see if he gets mad if I start taking his stuff. Well, so far so good. What about back here? Well, this is a good chunk of ammunition. I don't know why this isn't considered stealing. Oh, I can't open it. Still can't open it. Oh! Is this new? I don't remember ever seeing a saber in the game before. I don't have enough melee weapons to use it. Chance to ignore armor 15%, critical chance plus 5%, damage 17 to 35. Let's talk to him first. A black-bearded man in a leather jacket is lovingly cleaning the components of a disassembled AK. As he does so, he whistles an unfamiliar tune, totally enraptured with what he's doing. Study what he's doing. Yeah, I figured I was going to fail that. I think you get a bonus to some of your gun skills if you succeed at that. Could be mistaken. You focus on the man's agile movements, but he notices you before he can learn anything and moves the parts aside. Do I sense a lover of quality firearms? Great. I've got the best stuff in the wastes. You can't find these babies anywhere else. Maybe we can discuss a little discount. Oh ho ho! You're a cheeky one. No, I don't give discounts. I'm an honest-to-God, respectable merchant, not some wandering peddler. Okay, maybe we could chew the fat for a bit. You're a nice enough person, so the storekeeper nods and smiles. Sure, let's chat. What's on your mind? Tell me about yourself, friend. Captain 2nd rank, USSR Marine Corps. Infiltrator, military scuba diver, and weapons expert. And more recently, a trader. But not just any trader. Thanks to my old connections, I always have the best stuff around. An honor to speak with you, Captain. Can I ask something else? Curiosity is a virtue. I want to do the... Oop. Alright, the bearded arms dealer is looking over a disassembled AK. Spotting you, he sets the parts aside for the time being. Ah, you again. Looking for a gun to surpass anything found in the wastes? Can we talk a little first? Alright, what do the authorities think of your business? The same thing any of them think about unregulated arms trade. If you know the right people, they just look the other way. Well, there's that, I suppose. Let me ask something else. Any advice on weaponry? You look like a capable sort of fella. Not as capable as my old compadre, Major Pronin, but still. I doubt there's anything I could teach you. The trader rubs his chin, thinking something over. Okay, maybe you didn't know this one. When shooting a machine gun, try screaming as loud as you can. Keeps your ears from popping due to the noise of the shots. Hey, thanks for that. Let me ask something else. Have you heard any good rumors? I heard someone dealt with a gang of book hunters attacking book lovers and scribes. First good news around here in ages. Yeah, someone. Right. Anywho, let me ask another question. Alright, we have a little bit of bartering we can do. Oh, he doesn't pay anything for these. I really want to buy this, but I can't afford it. Hopefully he has this when we come back through here. Bearded trader moves closer and nods enthusiastically. Okay, you know, I changed my mind. Bye. But he has some really good stuff. Oh, I did gain 5 points to automatic firearms. Cool. He's surprised to note that the officer before you is barely over 18. You don't often see such young folks in law enforcement, especially in large cities, where only seasoned people are welcome in such positions. Now, to his credit, the young guy looks composed and serious. Having noticed you, he smiles and starts talking. "Good day, comrade. I'm Patrol Officer Kadushkin. What seems to be the problem?" "I just felt like chatting with you. How did a young man such as yourself end up on the force?" The guy answers in a very serious tone. "Because of my experience. My adoptive father, Rodion, and I had to survive in really harsh conditions up until last year. So when I got here, I was immediately accepted as a patrol officer." Fascinating. Can you tell me more?" The young officer rubs his nose, sighs, and begins his sorry tale. "I'm from the north, and it's no surprise Krasnoznamenny. I know that's not, I'm using my abbreviated version of Krasno, when it's easier to say. Alright, anyway. It's no surprise that Krasnoznamenny associate that part of the world with all kinds of nightmares and terrors. Barbarians, maniacs, crazy cultists. I myself was rescued from a cult by my adoptive father. They were ready to kill me, to sacrifice a 1-year-old baby on the altar of their depraved god. Can you believe it? This was just a couple of years after the war, too. The corpse of Soviet socialism wasn't even cold at that point. After that, my old pa and I lived in an abandoned candle factory for most of my life, along with a group of other mostly sane survivalists. I had to fight off all kinds of raids in my childhood. Cannibals, mutants, ruthless savages. Having lived a life like that, the common criminal doesn't exactly scare me. So as soon as Rodion left on the road to Kingdom Come, thanks to some counterfeit vodka, I came here. I told them about my background, showed a little of what I'm capable of, and got the job. Now I'm trying to live up to the expectations. Impressive story. One more question. Go ahead, comrade. I'm all ears. Have you ever been in trouble with the criminal world? It's the thugs who are in trouble with me, not the other way around. I've never even had to call for backup. Drunks, pickpockets, scammers, all small fry. But there's something else concerning me. For many days now, I've had this feeling that someone is constantly watching me, like a dark silhouette at the edge of my vision. But as soon as I turn to get a better look, nothing. Probably just the stress of your new position. I have one more question. Alright, right, it's time to go. See you later. What is she? Okay. See a slightly hunched middle-aged woman in front of you. She isn't paying attention to your presence at all, since the young militiaman standing on his post nearby is the sole focus of her attention. And when the militiaman notices her and looks at her with surprise, the woman quickly turns away from him in order to hide her face, and then almost bumps into you. "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to push you." "No problem. Can you answer a couple of questions for me?" "Well, you can certainly try. I'm new to the city myself." What's your name?" "My name is Eugenia, a Krokwil Smoktanovsky. And yours?" "That's simple. My name is..." The woman looks at you and her eyes are filled with sorrow. "Donnie." What a unique name. Nice to meet you." "Nice to meet you too, Eugenia. One more question. Where are you from?" "Oh, far away from here. I came from the north, walked half of the way barefoot, the other half in the boots I took off a dead body I found in a ditch. Life's way more peaceful here, in the city, I must say. Even here, peace is a mere illusion. One more question. What do you do? For a living, you mean? Well, that depends on the day. If someone needs their house cleaned or the meal cooked, I'm up for the job. Whatever the pay might be, it gets me by. Story of my life. One more question. I got any good rumors to share? My former countrymen up there in the north wanted to raid a caravan that was transporting the legendary Andropov's box. However, they didn't succeed. Now this cursed box is being transferred from person to person here in the wastes. God forbid it should end up in your hands or reveal its secrets to you. I don't know exactly, but something truly terrifying is hidden in that box. Andropov? Is he one of those pre-war politicians? What kind of horrible secrets could he have... What kind of horrible secrets he could have had? One more question. The woman sighs deeply. I wonder if that box is a reference to the box from Planescape Torment. Alright, let's change the topic now, shall we? Fine. I want to talk to you about the militiamen you've been spying on. The woman sobs and hides her sad gaze from you. My oh my, I don't even know where to start. Start from the beginning. I was still very young at the time, haven't even turned 20, but already got involved with a cult who worshipped Vanuk, the so-called god of death. We lived as a commune, we sang songs, and according to the ritual, I got married to the cult leader, Alisher, although he wanted us to call him Alistair. And what happened next? Well, our life wasn't too bad even after our son was born. He was a great boy. We named him Belphegor after a demonic baron. And then one of those lunatics came up with the idea that our baby was an incarnation of Vanuk, and that our baby needs to be killed so that the spirit of Vanuk would grace all of us. At first, of course, I was against it, but Alistair got really into this idea, and also got me on board. I was so into that idea that I myself put my baby boy, my own son, on a stone shrine. It was a miracle that saved us from committing a sin. Some crazy hobos started shooting, and we ran away. And when the shooting was over, Belphegor has vanished into thin air. Probably one of the hobos got him, thinking the kid will be better off with him than us. My god, what a fool I've been. And even after that day I kept believing in the powers of Vanuk for a couple more years. But then I've lost my faith, both in the sect teachings and in my sadistic husband. I ran away and started looking for any information I could find about my missing son. That's quite a story. I found out that the old man who kidnapped my son is called Rodion. After a couple more years living like a hermit, I found out that they were living at the old candle factory. I also found out that Rodion is dead, and my son has gotten a job here in the city. He became a militiaman. And now here I am, watching my baby boy from behind a cover. My son whom I've betrayed, whom I've almost killed, whom I've left to the mercy of fate, and I don't know what to do. What if he won't recognize me? What if he won't believe me? What if he does recognize me but orders me to go away? A she-wolf isn't the worst insult. I mean, Romulus and Remus, the founders of Rome, were raised by a she-wolf, so... let me talk to him. He doesn't have anything on me. Really? I was afraid to ask, but yes, please, go talk to him. I am too scared. Fine, I will try. Bye. A young militiaman salutes and addresses you in a brave voice. Patrol Officer Kadushkin at your service. Maybe you've noticed the woman watching you all the time. What if I were to tell you that she's your mother? The young militiaman shoots you an irritated look. Don't be ridiculous. I only ever had one parent, my stepfather Rodion. I have no desire to meet my mother, that is if I even had one. What kind of woman leaves her child alone with a drunkard? Don't answer that. I don't want to hear it. End of story. How dare you? A man's mother should be the most important person in his life, and here you are running your mouth about a woman you don't even know. Goodbye. Should have gone with the other option. A middle-aged woman with poor posture is watching a young militiaman standing at his post not far from her. Having noticed you, she shudders and turns her head towards you. Now, what do you want? I want to talk to you about the militiaman you've been spying on. Let's see. I've told you before, this militiaman is my son, Belphegor Alistarovich. I could approach him, but he wouldn't recognize me. And what if he kicks me out of the city when he finds out? Oh, what a scary prospect. Listen to me. You've made enough mistakes in your life to get scared now and not apologize to your son. Go to him, and who knows what will happen. The woman nods. You know what? Maybe you're right. I don't care even if he kills me. I need to get this off my chest. Thank you for pushing me in the right direction. Goodbye. The woman turns away and starts running towards the young officer. It's settled then. I wouldn't call that running, but sure. The woman shakes her head in sorrow. I must admit that thanks to you, my life has turned very interesting. Okay, well, shoot. Okay. A tattooed man mourns his life in a dim cell. As he notices you, he startles and talks to you in a high, unpleasant voice. You're not sure if you should answer him at all. Are you here to stare at me, like I'm a beast in the zoo? How'd you end up here, man? There's nothing to tell, really. I drunk, I cursed, I broke a tree. I'm ashamed to look people in the eye. This is my story. How long are you going to remain here? As long as they say. I see. Well, enjoy your stay. Let's see if he cares if I start stealing from him either. So far, most of the NPCs don't seem to care. So I thought I remembered them having a bigger issue with me taking stuff from them, but I guess I was misremembering. A short-tempered middle-aged man. Sorry, my voice cracked. A short-tempered middle-aged man in a relatively new uniform bulges his eyes strewn with bloody streaks at you, his nostrils flaring venomedly, when he realizes you want to talk to him. I've long since lost count of how many men I keep here to patrol the streets, but no! You're coming in here in scores anyway. What is it? What would the respectable citizens charge the chief of police with instead of turning to one of his subordinates? Got bitten by a mimic? Mother-in-law took all your money? The TV set died? Hello, Comrade Chief. Haven't seen you at my place for a while. I decided to pay you a visit. Hee hee. Are you suggesting I should start drinking? I'm intoxicated with this life already. So much I'm sick of it. I'm here to complain about one of your subordinates. You're about to report an unpleasant incident when the police chief stops you with a commanding gesture. In written form. He passes a sheet of paper to you. You notice his look is full of hatred, and his left eye twitches. Right. Just a second. Make up a complaint. You spend the next half hour describing in details the incident that happened to you, from time to time digressing to deliberate on law, the detrimental effect of bribery and parasitic lifestyle. By the end, your complaint looks more like a philosophical treatise. As you read it, you're proud of your words, and the sense of fulfillment fills you. With a content smile, you hand the finished manuscript to the police chief. Without reading it, he crumples it and hides it in a drawer. Thank you for your initiative. Let's change the subject. What else do you want? Just to have a chat. The man silently takes a hard ceramic mug full of steaming hot coffee in his hand, weighs it, squints one eye, looks at you, assumes a comfortable position to throw it, sighs and returns the mug back to its place. I'm not a monster. I understand why my idiot assistants weren't of any help in this case. What can I ask of them? But still, why chat with civil officials at all? Aren't there enough old women outside? Or gossipers? Chatty crones? What do you need from me? Well, we could introduce ourselves. My name's Sergei. Sergei Ivanovich. Sergei Ivanovich Streletsky. Happy now? Nice meeting you. Another question. How do you like your job? The man turns to the peeling wall of his office and bangs it hard with his fists, froth at his lips and rage in his eyes, and turns back to you and nods with an unexpected smile. It's fine. I'm happy for you. Another question. Go on. What can you tell me about Krasno? The chief's teeth clatter as he answers. Nothing. I can't tell you anything about Krasno. I'm the one constantly being told about Krasno, dozens of times per day, every day, about the things that are wrong in the city. Terrible. Another question. Have you heard any good rumors? Do you have any idea how many tips and anonymous letters I receive every day? Do you really think I'm willing to hear any rumors after that? Go talk to the old crones outside. They'll tell you more rumors than you've asked for. Go on. Out. Maybe later. I want to ask you a question first. Let's change the subject. What else do you want? It's not good for your health being all that nervous. As the police chief listens to you, he starts smiling. His smile grows on and on to the point where it looks unnatural, and his left eye starts twitching. Oh, but thank you, Doc. Who would have thought? Thank you for your kind advice. I do my best to take care of myself and my nerves. Despite the officer's unexpectedly friendly voice, your reptile brain suspects the police chief is mere seconds away from jumping at you and throttling you. It's terrifying even being in the same room with you. Is this what a state official should be like? At first the officer looks livid, but then your words hit home, and rage gives way to shame. You're right, especially when you say that I wind myself up and that my anger is more of a habit now than a justified reaction. You explained it properly at last. Perhaps this will help me keep it together at home. I really want to thank you, and give you these 100 rubles, you devil. Glad to be of service, and let's change the subject. What else do you want? I have business to discuss. The Chief of Police slaps himself on the forehead, annoyed. Yeah, the streets of Krasno aren't trodden enough. People don't understand where the lawn ends and the road begins. We need to hire someone who would be loafing around doing nothing, thus solving this terrible problem. Or, wait, are you indeed a mercenary? Since summer, I'm interested in the head of Nikolai Koroblev from the gang Crushers of the Soviet Union. Reason: killing a government official close to the place called the Roaring Forest. Okay, I accept the task. Great. Not many people are willing to take care of people like this scumbag Nikolai Koroblev. I expect to hear from you in 4 days. Don't be like other people in my life. Don't let me down. Okay, let's change the subject. Alright, so that is actually on a time limit. Or, yeah. You have 4 days to take care of that quest. A gloomy little man in a uniform hat stands before you, scratching his thick sideburns. From time to time, he covers his mouth with a large hand and coughs loudly. He squints and gestures you to come closer. Well, 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 comrade. Let's see your registration. I don't have any registration. I don't live here. No registration, eh? I better jot that down. Voluntarily confessed to being in the city. Unlegal, unlawful, illegally. By the way, this violation incurs a fine. Jessica Christo, don't start with that. My amigo already paid the entrance fee. Actually, I didn't. Ah, hello, Fidel. Sorry, I didn't recognize you in the company of this homeless vagabond. Fine. You have my permission to walk freely about the city. Some law enforcement you have here. Nothing out of the ordinary. We're just making sure that all laws are observed and every citizen has his or her properly authorized permits and documents. Right, sure you are. Can you answer a couple of questions for me? It won't cost me anything, right? Then please, go ahead. Is it considered normal here for passerbys to get shaken down by the law? If these passerby violate the law, then yes. For example, if a person doesn't have his registration, or something, we'll need to see some coin. There's no way around it. Anything exciting going on in Krasno? Nothing too exciting. The electricity keeps cutting out. These days, some people would be content to have any amount of electricity at all. But I think the city electrician should be able to do something about it. He's pretty much useless, to be honest. Any interesting rumors crawl in from the wastes? People say that Dan, the boss of the old factory, fancies himself a boss of the wasteland as well. Who does that old propusher think he is anyway? Alright, understood. I better go. We're going to zip back to the hotel real quick and turn in the waste paper that I picked up. Sorry, I know my reading was a little rough around the edges. I mean, it's always a little rough around the edges, but I felt like it was worse than it usually is today, so. I don't know if I've talked to this guy yet. A tall, skinny militiaman greets you with an evaluating gaze and a sly grin. What do you need, comrade? Are you just taking a walk, or have you finally decided to start your own business? Just taking a walk, checking out the local rumors. Do you have anything for me? Nope. Alright, he already took my other rumors. Okay. Okay, yeah, never mind. This is the guy that got into law enforcement for bribes. A crew-cut militiaman is idly watching the neighborhood, from time to time spitting on the street's cracked asphalt. When he sees you, he rolls his eyes, as if anticipating his disappointment with your asinine questions. What seems to be the problem, comrade? How's life, officer? Just out of curiosity. Life is life. Not all that interesting, and if you ask me, that's exactly how it should be. Last thing we need is another black hortensia. Or hortensia? What's happening here in the city? Nothing is happening except for the constant blackouts. Our tired old power plant can't keep up with the demands of modern times. It's such a shame. Imagine sitting down in front of the TV to watch our local news, but the power blacks out right at the most exciting moment. Have you heard any rumors lately? If you're looking for gossip, your best bet is to ask the crazy guy screaming nonsense right over there. I would have scared him away, but I'm feeling lazy today. Anyway, he livens the place up. I wanted to report a militiaman who demanded a bribe for registration. Oh, so someone already asked you. Alright, then I won't bother. Go have your fun, comrade. I see. Good luck in your service, officer. Okay, a lot of reading. I think I'm going to call the episode... Well, let's talk to this guy, and then we'll talk to the NPCs inside the apartment complex after, or in the next episode. As you approach the militiaman, you see he's in a losing battle with drowsiness. His eyes are closing, and his head falling in slow motion. Short, even breaths are mutating into long, hoarse snuffles. But having sensed your presence, the man shudders from toes to crown, and sits bolt upright. Huh? What? How? It's not appropriate to sleep on duty, officer. You're bringing dishonor to the uniform. Screw you. I wasn't sleeping. It's your word against mine, and mine is the word of an honest militiaman. You lose to me in any court, both in the people's court and, The man righteously points his index finger at the sky. Up there, in the heavenly court. Even if I personally vouch for mi amigo, a well-known, well-respected witness? Stay out of it, innkeeper. We've seen how you get the workers drunk in your eatery, with your corrupt Western cocktails, but we kept silent. Now it's your turn to be silent. Sheesh, calm down. What, nothing interesting happening on duty? The militiaman's nostrils flare with indignation. Nothing interesting. Maybe it's because I can't sleep on my nights off, because of all the things I see on the job. Sometimes it's a thief grabbing an old woman's purse. Sometimes it's a filthy drunkard threatening to stab a young girl with a knife. As soon as I close my eyes, I see all the victims standing right there in front of me, begging for my help. What can I do? Nothing. Okay. Will I be able to sleep while I'm on the clock too, if I become a militia officer? A militia officer? Ha, funny. I wouldn't wish this life on anyone. The exhausting days at the militia academy, organized for us by our tyrant colleague, and all this responsibility, taking care of the gun, listening to people's endless complaints. With a life like this, one can only dream about a decent night's sleep. I'd like to report a colleague of yours. He demanded a bribe from me. Yeah, I know who you mean. Don't worry about it. I'll talk to him. Execute him if need be. Whatever you want. But in the morning, okay? I will execute him in the morning. Now, I can't tell you which morning exactly, but I'll definitely take care of it. Alright, go back to sleep. I'll be on my way. Alright, next episode we'll clear out this apartment complex, and then I think... Yeah, apartment complex will take care of the movie theater as well. And then we have the Chamber of Commerce and the courtyard here. So we're definitely getting closer to wrapping up Krasno. Thank goodness. So many NPCs and a lot of reading. Anyway, I'm going to call it here, and that's what we'll do next time. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next episode.